Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I don't know what to do with this. Hmm. Okay, so Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let us begin with our study of Shri Isopanisad, Mantra 9. So, everybody, please go to page number 63 of Shri Isopanisad, page 63, Mantra 9. And let's begin with our Mangalacharan prayers first. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, thank you very much for joining. Keep your videos on. Just for the sake of revision, we will recite the first two verses, the invocation verse and mantra number 1, because we have to memorize them. Om Purnamada Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जिथा मा गृढ कस्य स्विद्धनम्. ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जिथा मा गृढ कस्य स्विद्धनम्. ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जिथा मा गृढ kasya svidhanam. And then let's begin with today's study from mantra 9. Bhagwan Shri Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasadev has written in Shri Isopanishad mantra 9. Andham tama pravishanti ye vidyam upasate tato bhuya iva te tamo ya u vidyayam rataha. Translations and purports by our beloved founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Srila Vyasdev says, those who engage in the culture of nascent activities shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge. A very interesting mantra. Srila Vyasdev is saying those who follow the culture of darkness, ignorance of Ishwar, they go to the darkest region of ignorance. They fall down. Remember when Shri Gandhiji was asked by a British journalist, what do you think about Western culture? Gandhiji famously replied, I think that's a good idea. The question was, what do you think of Western culture? And Gandhiji said, I think that's a good idea. Which means there is no culture. But to have some Western culture would be a good idea. Right now, you don't have any culture. Because there is unrestricted meat eating, unrestricted sensual activity, intoxication is considered cool. You meet for a get together and you offer a glass of wine. This is not culture. So Mahatma Gandhi said, I think it's a good idea. It's about time that there should be some culture in the West also. So those who follow this so-called culture of darkness, no conception of God, they go down to the dark regions, the hellish planets. Now, interestingly, Srila Vyasdev says, worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge. Those who are engaged in the culture of ignorance, they go down to hell. Those who are engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge, they are worse. Hare Krishna. Interesting? So let's see what is the meaning of this. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, this mantra offers a comparative study of Vidya and Avidya. Vidya means knowledge of Krishna, knowledge of spiritual life. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavihastini, Shuni Chaiva, Shwapakecha, Pandita Samadarshina. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that one who has Vidya and Vinaya, one who has knowledge and good character, he sees spirit everywhere. He sees the presence of Krishna everywhere. He sees every living entity as it is, as a spiritual spark, instead of seeing them as a Brahman, as a dog eater, as an elephant. Not like that. He sees them as it is from a spiritual perspective. Avidya or ignorance is undoubtedly dangerous, but Vidya or knowledge is even more dangerous when mistaken or misguided. In Hindi, there is a saying, नीम हकीम खतरे जान. हरिबात प्रभु आपने सुना है? नीम हकीम खतरे जान. What does it mean? Hakim means doctor. Neem means half. Half doctor is more dangerous. Because if you don't have any doctory knowledge, you don't have any medical knowledge, and there is some situation, you will say, hey, I don't know. Ask a doctor. But someone who has half knowledge will be very enthusiastic to give advice and will give all wrong advice. Therefore, Neem Hakim Khatre Jan. Half doctor is more dangerous than no medical knowledge. Srila Vyasdev in the same vein is saying that having no knowledge of God is bad, it will take you down. But having half knowledge or having wrong knowledge and thinking that you have right knowledge, confidently telling something that is wrong, is even more dangerous because some people will actually believe you. They will think that you actually know. Hari bol. So therefore, so-called knowledge is even more dangerous. This mantra of Isopanisad is more applicable today than at any time in the past. Modern civilization has advanced considerably in the field of mass education, but the result is that people are more unhappy than ever before because of the stress placed on material advancement to the exclusion of the most important part of life, that is the spiritual aspect. What Srila Prabhupada is saying is we have a lot of universities and colleges teaching lots of courses. However, they are missing the point because there is no course on spiritual life. Go to any university. Go to Georgia Tech, go to Emory University, go to Harvard, go to Stanford. They are teaching so many things, but they are not teaching about God. They are not teaching us who we actually are. When Srila Prabhupada went to MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the premium technological institute in the world, Srila Prabhupada asked them a question when he was taken on a tour. Here is this department, here is that department, that department. Prabhupada said, where is the department of spiritual science? Are you teaching people who they are? Are you teaching people good moral values? Are you teaching people how to make their life successful? Are you teaching them about God? And MIT said, no, we don't. Prabhupada said, then all your knowledge is incomplete and partial. You cannot really benefit your students. As far as Vidya is concerned, the first mantra has explained very clearly Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kinchan jagatyam jagat. That the Supreme Lord is the proprietor of everything. The whole jagat he owns. That is Vidya. Now, the more a man forgets this fact of life, the more he is in darkness. A godless civilization directed toward so called advancement of education is more dangerous than a civilization in which the masses of people are less educated. Asha Mataji, we have told the story of the boy with the arcade, one entire floor in Manhattan with video game arcade, and a boy in New Vrindavan, West Virginia, playing with avocado seed. You see? So it is not the amount of things we have. It is what is the important thing is that what is the substance in our life. Let me show you something. So, one author has very famously written something that is often quoted, and it's very true. Uh, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, you see, it is attributed to Dr. Bob Moorhead. The paradox of our time in history is that we have taller buildings but shorter tempers, wider freeways but narrower viewpoints. We spend more but have less. We buy more but enjoy less. We have bigger houses and smaller families, more conveniences but less time, more educational degrees but less sense, more knowledge but less judgment, more experts yet more problems, more medicine but less wellness. Isn't it true? Think about it. Each and every statement is true. This is the paradox of our time. This is the irony of our times. This is exactly what Isopanisad is referring to. That we can get more and more and more knowledge and information, but that will actually prove to be worse than being ignorant. Why? A ignorant person will at least admit that I'm ignorant. But a person who has useless garbage knowledge will have a lot of ego that I know a lot. I have got 3 PhDs. What are you telling me? You don't teach me anything. A person who is uneducated will not have that ego, that arrogance. Therefore, so called knowledge is even more dangerous. Srila Prabhupada is saying. One paragraph down. In the language of Bhagavad Gita 7.15, people who are engaged in gross sense gratification are mudhas, donkeys or asses. The ass is a symptom of stupidity. Why is a donkey a symptom of stupidity? Because the donkey will work very hard to get little grass, but that grass is available for free. If you go somewhere, grass is just freely growing. You can get it for free. You don't have to work so hard. But the donkey will still work very hard to get some pieces of grass. So that is the foolishness of a donkey. And we should not be like donkeys. Which means the happiness and distress that is in our prarabdha, that is in our destiny, based on our previous karma, will come anyway. We cannot live for one day extra. We cannot enjoy one sweet extra than what is in our prarabdha. Haridas, you can tell this to Nitai. We cannot enjoy one sweet extra than what is in our destiny. So, we should understand this that Krishna has made a quota. Remember, first mantra Krishna has given a quota for everyone, and we should be satisfied with that. Prabhupada says the advancement of learning by godless people is as dangerous as a valuable jewel on the hood of a venomous cobra. There are certain snakes in Nagalok, not on Earth, in Nagalok, where those, and that is a lower planet, where there are big, big snakes that can speak, that have a lot of intelligence, and they have very precious gem on their hood, but they are very poisonous. If you try to approach them to retrieve that gem, they will sting you with their venomous fangs. So, so-called material knowledge is like the gem on the hood of a venomous serpent, which means it is very dangerous. That analogy is given. Then Srila Prabhupada quotes from Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya 3.11.12. The advancement of education by a godless people is compared to decorations on a dead body. Please understand this example. When a person dies, Nitai, when a person dies and Vedasar Prabhu goes to do Anteshti Kriya, he is very expert at doing that. I have also seen him do it. So, of course, in the Vaishnava Paddhati, in the Vaishnava way, you bathe the body with Ganga Jal, Radha Kund Jal, you apply 12 tilaks, you put a Tulsi Kanthi Mala, you drape the body of the Vaishnava or Vaishnavi in fresh cloth. You write Krishna Naam with Gopi Chandan on their forehead, Radha, Krishna, or Hare Krishna, like that. And you pray, offer prayers for the progress of the departed soul, and then you put tulsi wood on the body, dried tulsi wood on the body of the departed Vaishnav, and you cremate the Vaishnav. This is the Anteshti Kriya. However, in the non-Vaishnav funeral process, the dead body is embalmed. It is decorated. They are made to wear nice suit or a nice dress for ladies. They are kept in a beautiful casket, or they are made to wear nice jewels, nice wristwatch, and then there is a showing where all the loved ones, all the family, friends, neighbors, they come to see the departed person for the last time, their mortal body, which has been embalmed. And embalmment is done so that the body can be preserved, the body looks relatively fresh. And then there are various decorations, nice clothes, nice jewels, nice flowers. Our Shastra says that all these decorations, a beautiful, expensive casket, expensive clothes, expensive jewels, you spend money on embalming the body, all this is for the satisfaction of the visitors, that the last sighting of this person was pleasant. My last vision of this person was pleasant. My last darshan of this person was pleasant. It is for the satisfaction of the people who come to visit. All this decoration, all this embalming, all this nice dress and jewels do nothing for the departed soul. The departed soul is already gone to the next destination. Is everybody listening? The person is already gone. We don't know whether the person has got a human body, a demigod body, a demon body, an animal body, a plant body. We don't know. The soul is already gone somewhere and we are decorating the dead body. 5 days later, 6 days later, 1 week later. It is for the satisfaction of visitors. It does absolutely zero, nothing for the person who is dead. If I give my clothes to Goodwill, I donate them to Goodwill and I move on in life. Now they may iron the clothes, they may put it on a nice hanger, show it in a nice way, or put it on a mannequin. What difference does it make to me? I am not those clothes. I don't wear those clothes anymore. I have given them up. Similarly, no matter how much you decorate a dead body, it does nothing for the person who has left that body. The exact verse is Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Shastra Japa Tapa Apranasya Eva Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. I would like you all to find this verse. It is quoted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya. If you type it on Google, it will show up. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Shastra Japa Tapa Apranasya Eva Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. What it means is Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya. If one does not have devotion for Bhagavan, Bhakti Hin means no devotion. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya, your jati, your tapa, your shastra knowledge. We're talking about vidya here. Your vidya, your knowledge, your degrees, jati, shastra, japa, tapa, all the tapasyas you have done, all the fasting you have done, all the mantras you have chanted, all the degrees you have accumulated, all the courses you have taken, all the credits you have earned, and your birth in a very high class, famous family, everything is like apranasya eva dehasya mandanam. Mandanam means decoration, and apranasya dehasya means dead body, body that has no pran. It is the mandanam, decoration of a aparanasya deha, of a dead body. It is meant for lokaranjanam. It is meant for the satisfaction of the visitors. It does nothing for the departed soul. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Shastra Japa Tapa Apranasya Dehasya Mandanam Loka Ranjanam. So, what is important? Raise your hand. So, what is important in life? Remember, Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya. Everything else is useless. Yes, Keshav Madhav Prabhu. What is important in life?
Bhagavad Bhakti is important in life.
Huh?
Bhagavad Bhakti is important in
Bhagavad
life.
Bhakti is the prime factor in life. Without Bhagavad Bhakti, everything is useless. Very important. So these two examples Srila Prabhupada gives. The example of the jewel on the hood of a cobra. Who can quickly explain that example? Please, some kid. Raise your. I disabled the chat because some birdie told me that some kids are just privately chatting in the class, texting each other, using it as an opportunity to text. So I disabled the chat. Remind me every time to disable the chat. Okay. Who can explain? Yes, Sudevi. Explain the example of a venomous cobra with a very beautiful, attractive jewel on the hood.
When a venomous cobra has a very attractive jewel on its head, but it is venomous, so if we try to take the jewel, it will bite us immediately.
Yes. And that valuable jewel is like so called knowledge. And that venomous snake is like a person who has no devotion for Krishna. All that knowledge is very, very dangerous. Very good. Next paragraph. According to Bhagavad Gita 2.42 and 7.15, mistaken mundane educators are known as Vedavada Rata and Mayaparhita Jnana, respectively. 2.42 in Bhagavad Gita, they are called Vedavada Rata. They simply discuss Vedas, argue Vedas. They are very devoted to that, but they have no devotion. And Maya Aparhita Jnana means those whose knowledge, real knowledge, has been abducted by Maya. Their real knowledge has been stolen by Maya. That is Bhagavad Gita 7.15. They may also be atheistic demons who are Naradhama, lowest among men. These people may be atheistic or they may be so called educated. Those who are Vedavada Rata pose themselves as very learned in Vedic literature. But unfortunately, they are completely diverted away from the purpose of Vedas. They know a lot of Vedas, but they don't know the purpose of the Vedas. What is the use? What is the use? Kulashekar, someone may have a very nice cricket bat, but they don't know how to use it. Is it useful? They may use it to give strength and direction to a creeper in the garden. They bury the bat half in the soil to give support to a creeper that is growing. Is that a proper use of a cricket bat that Divyanam Prabhu brought for you from India? Sachin Tendulkar's bat? Is that a proper use? It is not proper use. Someone who knows how to use a cricket bat will use it to play cricket. Any ordinary wooden stick can do the purpose of giving support to a creeper. So similarly, we should know what is the purpose of the Vedas. Vedas are not meant to give us religiosity, economic development, sense gratification and liberation. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. That is not the purpose of Vedas. The purpose of Vedas is to tell us about Krishna. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedya. Krishna says. The purpose of Vedas is to understand me. In Bhagavad Gita 15.15, it is said that the purpose of Vedas is to know Krishna. That's what Vedayascha sarvair ahameva vedya. Now, Srila Prabhupada says in two paragraphs down, Vedavada Rata people, instead of realizing that the purpose of Vedas is to revive the forgetful soul's lost relationship with Krishna, take it for granted that such side issues as attainment of heaven, Swarga, for sense gratification, the lust for which causes material bondage in the first place, are the ultimate end of the Vedas. Some people think that the purpose of Vedas is to go to Swarga. They don't know the real purpose. And now here is an important sentence. Please pay attention, everybody. Look at that. Sometimes these people, the misguided people who are Veda, Vada, Rata, they have a lot of knowledge of the Vedas and Upanishads. And what they do is they even condemn the Puranas, which are authentic Vedic explanations for laymen. The Veda, Vada, Ratas give their own explanations of Vedas, neglecting the authority of great teachers, Acharyas. So please understand this point. Everybody pay attention. There are certain people, followers of the Vedas, who say that Puranas, Itihasas are for less intelligent people. Srimad Bhagavatam, what is that? There is some description of dancing at night, boys and girls are dancing. Chi. There is some description of some Brahman going to meet Krishna in Dwarka to solve his economic problem. And this is the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is supposed to be the best canto. What nonsense is this? This is all entertainment. People who are less intelligent, who cannot understand the Upanishads, they cannot understand Vedanta Sutra. For such less intelligent people, some entertainment stories are filled throughout the Puranas and the Itihasas like Rama and Mahabharata. Rama and Mahabharata, 18 Puranas are not for really intelligent people. Really intelligent people will read the Upanishads and Vedanta Sutra. There are actual people who are very learned scholars, they are Dharma Gurus, and they say like this. I have myself heard. They propagate. Don't quote Puranas, quote Upanishads. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur deals with this problem in Jaiva Dharma. There's a full chapter dedicated to this. The answer is, we have to ask the author, Srila Vyasdev. Srila Vyasdev himself says that Sarva Vedanta Saram hi Shri Bhagavatam Ishyate. Tad Rasamrita Triptasya Nanyatrasya Dhrati Kvachit. Clearly Srila Vyasdev himself says. Shri Shukdev Goswami says, the son of Srila Vyasdev, that Sarva Vedanta Saram hi Shri Bhagavatam Ishyate. The essence of all Vedic literature is Srimad Bhagavatam. And Tad Rasamrita Triptasya, one who has drunk the rasa of Srimad Bhagavatam, Nanatrasya Dhrati Kvachit. He will never develop attraction for any other scripture. You give him any other Puran, any Upanishad, any Ved, any Itihas. Nahi. One who has tasted the nectar of Brahmar Geet, Gopi Geet. What is there? They will not have taste for anything else in this world. So Shukdev Goswami is speaking from Anubhav, from experience. He is not talking theoretically. He has tasted it. He was Brahmavadi. But when he heard Barha Pidam Natavara he knows what happened to his heart. So from experience he is saying. So we should understand that Srila Vyasdev himself says that Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost scripture. Mahaprabhu says, Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam. This is the opinion of Mahaprabhu that Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. It is the highest evidence, Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, we should not listen to such people who criticize the Puranas. And the crest jewel of all Puranas is Srimad Bhagavatam. It's called Bhagavat Mahapuran. So we should not listen to such people. They are misguided. They are Veda, Vata, Rata. They think they know Vedas. But they are actually Neem Hakim Khatrejan. What are they? Half doctor, very dangerous. Better you don't read Vedas. But more dangerous than not reading Vedas is to think that I have read and understood Vedas and all your understanding is wrong. It is bogus. It is not according to Parampara. That is a more dangerous situation. In medicine, in our first year of medical school, they teach us a very important principle. Would you like to know? First, do no harm. If you cannot help the patient, at least don't harm the patient. Don't give wrong medicine. First, do no harm. That is the first principle they teach us. So Prabhupada says in the last sentence of the next paragraph that these people who disobey the acharyas, disobey the previous mahajans, and they misinterpret the shastra, they fall even further into ignorance than those who have no knowledge of Vedas at all. Again, that point is stressed. Better to have no knowledge of Vedas than to have wrong knowledge. Now, the Maya Apahita Jnana class of men are self-made gods. Such men think that they themselves are God and that there is no need of worshipping any other God. They are people who say, I am only God. They will give, there are famous people in India even today. They have millions of followers. They say, I am God. One person even has developed a country of his own. I don't know how many of you know. So they are self-made God. They say, I am only God. And they give mantra of their own name to their disciples during Diksha. We once had a devotee in Bombay. He used to chant one such mantra. And then he was enlightened after reading Prabhupada's books, and then he came to the proper path of Parampara. But these bogus gurus, they give mantra of their own name to their disciples. So this type of knowledge is very, very dangerous. It is worse than having no knowledge of Vedas. Therefore, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, my dear friends, towards the end of the 18th chapter, that this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita should not be given to those who are envious, to those who are not austere, to those who are not my devotees. Because they will misuse this knowledge. The knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is very strong, very powerful. They can weaponize the Shastra. They can use Shastric knowledge to convince people to do what they want them to do. Are there not religious fundamentalists in this world who are terrorists? Are they not religious? But they fall in that category where Neem Hakim Khatrejan. They have incomplete knowledge. They feel that if I kill one Hindu, it is like killing 100 kafirs. And if I kill one Jew, it is like killing 1,000 kafirs or whatever they call, whatever their terminology is, kafir. And then I will get so many virgins in heaven to enjoy. They actually believe this. That's why they are willing to crash their airplane into the Twin Towers. Think about it. If you are told you will get Golok Vrindavan, do that. You will say, wow, this is so crazy idea. To kill other people, give them so much pain, and make their loved ones cry. For myself to go to Golok Vrindavan, here we have Vasudeva Datta who is saying that let me suffer in hell eternally for others. Let others go. So therefore, my dear friends, religious knowledge is very powerful and it should not go in the hands of unqualified people. That is why Dronacharya took the thumb of Ekalavya. Ekalavya had skill, he did not have character. We need both. If there is skill without character, then you become Eklavya, Duryodhan, Karna. And if you have skill and character, both, then you become Arjun, Bhim. Mantra 10. Anyad evahur vidyaya, nyad ahur avidyaya, iti shushruma dhiranam, yenastad vichachakshire. The wise have explained that one result is derived from the culture of knowledge and that a different result is obtained from the culture of nescience. My dear friends, please pay attention. Srila Vyasdev is saying that all paths don't lead to the same destination. This is also a very, very common misunderstanding that is preached. Have you heard this? Follow anything, you will get it. You will get there. Just take one path, pick one path and just go. You will get there. ऐसे कैसे? Go to Atlanta International Airport and just take any flight. Any flight. You will go to Cincinnati, to Nandini's house. ऐसा होता है क्या? No, you have to take a specific flight to go to Cincinnati. You cannot just take any flight. Similarly, you cannot just follow any guru, any path, and think that I will go to the Supreme God. I will attain Supreme God. That is not possible. So, here in this verse, my dear friends, please look at Mantra 10 translation. The wise have explained what? The result derived from the culture of Vidya, real knowledge, is different. And the result obtained from the culture of Avidya is different. This has been explained by the sober people who know the truth. Dhira. Now, my dear friends, in the purport, we are going to read something very important. I hope all of you are paying full attention. Srila Prabhupada writes, as advised in chapter 13 of the Bhagavad Gita, 13, 8 to 12, one should culture knowledge in the following way. How should we develop the culture of real Vidya, real knowledge, spiritual knowledge? How? What are the steps? Well, there are 18 steps. What is the date today? 8/18, August 18th. And Srila Prabhupada is giving us 18 steps from the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. 18 steps of real knowledge. Okay. Dasanudas, I want you to argue with me. I want you to take that stick from Kamyavan, from Karthik 2022 and beat me, fight me. So I say, Yathamat Tathapat. Arey, chant any mantra, everything is one. Follow any Guru Baba. Just follow with faith. You will get the supreme abode. You will get the supreme destination. What do you say? Why you want to be Hari Dasanudas? You become anybody's Dasanudas. You will get the same result. What do you say? Fight back.
Now I understand how Prabhupada would confront his disciples.
Yes. So we should be completely convinced about this philosophy, and we should be able to quote these verses like Mantra 10 and show from the Shastra that look, all paths don't lead to the same destination. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajantyante kalevaram, like that. Yanti devavrata devan, pitrinanti pitrivratan, bhutani yanti bhutejya mad bhakti ajenopi mam. Everybody gets different destinations. So we should be able to argue like that. Where is Nitai? Nitai the Brahmachari. Haribol.
Haribo.
Nitai Prabhu. I want you to tell me why I am wrong. I say I am God. It has been revealed to me. I am God. And you just chant my name and you will get all spiritual perfection. Will you join my ashram?
Then can you lift Govardhan Hill?
There you go. But what is the proof, Nitai, that Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill? I am God.
The proof is in the Shastras, which are in the disciplic succession.
Yes, very good. Once a person said, my Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhana Swami Maharaj, was doing a college program in Columbus, Ohio. And he was doing a university program. He was teaching cooking. And then he spoke a little bit about God. And then one person in the audience said, one American student, I am God. And Maharaj said, please accept my humble obeisances. He said, I accept. And then he kept on arguing with Maharaj that I am God, I am God, I am God. Why are you talking about God? I am that God, Baba. That person mentioned in that Bhagavad Gita that you are holding, that is me. So then Maharaj told one Prabhu, one devotee, because that floor had only one bathroom. He said, go inside the bathroom and lock it from inside. And then Maharaj kept preaching to him for a long time, and then he had to answer. And Maharaj made sure that he got a lot of lemonade, lot of water to drink. So then he wanted to use the restroom. And Maharaj said, no, no, you are God. You control your bladder. You can control the whole universe, whole world. Everything is under your control. Just control your bladder. He said, no, but I need to go. I need to go. I will discuss later. I will explain. Now let me go. And Maharaj, and then he went and started knocking on the bathroom. And Maharaj told, don't open. And you cannot leave the floor also until you admit that you are not God. Finally, after some time, he said, okay, okay, I admit I'm not God, open the door now. And then the door was opened, he went inside and came out after some time. And Maharaj said, how do you feel? He said, "Ah, I feel like I have attained liberation." So these are people who falsely say that they are God. So Nitai, very good. You should tell them to lift Govardhan. Or forget Govardhan, just keep your hand like this for 7 days and 7 nights. And play flute and smile. Cannot do that. So Mantra 10 tells us, and in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says 18 points. Number one should become a perfect gentleman and learn to give proper respect to others. So, my dear friends, first point is that we should learn to respect others. Everybody's clear on this? Raise your hand if you're clear on this. We should give respect to others. Mana dena. Mana dena, Mahaprabhu says. Amanina, mana dena. We should learn to respect others. We have to ask ourselves, was this respectful? Was this behavior respectful to this person? So we should give respect. Number one. Number two, one should not pose oneself as a religionist simply for the sake of name and fame. Simply for the sake of name and fame and respect, we should not pose ourselves as a spiritualist. प्रभु जी ये क्या है गले में? हाँ, it's my कंठीमाला, I am Vaishnav. और ये इधर क्या बाल है? I am Brahman. That's why I have got Shikha, Brahman. So we should not do these things just to get respect from people or for name and fame. We should not try to practice bhakti so that we get name and fame. We will fall down otherwise. I once knew one boy in my medical school in Bombay who became a devotee, went home, and had a big fight with his grandparents at home. Because grandparents were saying, this is nonsense what you're following. Are we fools? All these years, we have also practiced. We are also Hindus. We know Hindu Dharma. You go to college, you attend some program with some brahmacharis, and you think that you can teach us what is Hinduism now? What is Dharma? So he argued everything, fought with them. And then later on, after the Diwali holidays, when he came back to the hostel, he was discussing with me. And he said, I thoroughly defeated my parents, my grandparents. ऐसा कोट किया ना प्रभु, सबको चुप करा दिया. I quoted the verses so nicely that they had never heard those verses. सब चुप हो गए. They fell silent. And then I told them that I am like Prahlad and you are all like Hiranyakashipu and his followers. You listen to me, then you will be saved. Otherwise, you are all going to hell. Grandfather, you can die at any time. You are old man. Better start chanting now. Listen to me. I am telling you, I observed that boy. Within a few months, he fell down from Krishna consciousness. He who had gone home and preached so much, he could not even sustain his Krishna consciousness for 2-3 months. Within a couple of months, I don't know what happened. His mind just changed. He gave up Krishna consciousness, and I know him even today. Not personally, but I know where he is, what he is doing through mutual friends. Even today, 25 years later, he has nothing to do with Krishna consciousness. At one point, he was chanting 16 rounds. He had memorized some verses of Bhagavad Gita. He was wearing a 2-circle Tulsi Kanthimala. He had grown a shikha and everything. He knew how to wear dhoti, kurta. He just left Krishna consciousness. He could not sustain. Why? Because there is lot of arrogance, lot of false ego, prestige that I am a devotee. So we should not pose ourselves as very advanced. We should not think I am the Prahlad and everybody around me are Hiranyakashipus. One should not become a source of anxiety to others by actions of our body, thoughts, mind, words. We should not do like that. We should not give anxiety to others. Sometimes we ill treat others and then the person cannot sleep at night. Or we scold somebody so much, or we chastise them, or we make them so afraid. You don't do this, you are going to go to hell. Oh, what? You ate on Janmashtami? Have you not read in the Shastra? It says you drink 1 drop of water also on Janmashtami, you have to go to hell. Prabhu, now you are gone. We should not do like this. Who are we to judge where someone is going, whether someone is going to Golok Vrindavan or hell? If we judge them, that means we are taking the position of Krishna. We are taking the position of Bhagwan. Because only Bhagwan can decide where someone goes. So we should not give anxiety to others. वैष्णवेर गुणग्राही ना देखाय दोष कायमन वाक्य करे वैष्णव संतोष. I would like all of you to find this verse and memorize it. Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, वैष्णवेर गुणग्राही ना देखाय दोष कायमन वाक्य करे वैष्णव संतोष. A Vaishnav is defined, my dear friends. Sometimes people ask us, who are you? We are Vaishnav. So we should know the definition of Vaishnav. Okay? What is the definition of Vaishnav? Vaishnavera gunagrahi. A Vaishnav always wants to sing the good qualities of Krishna, and when a Vaishnav meets others, he sees only good qualities in them. Only good qualities in them. That is a Vaishnav. Whereas when we sometimes meet somebody and we come and we are asked something, we start bad mouthing. We start criticizing that person. We only saw bad. Like I gave the example. We went to Sadhu Sangha this year, 2025 Sadhu Sangha. I met one devotee after a long time. I said, Hari Bol, it was so good to see you. So nice to meet you here in Sadhu Sangha. There are 4,000 devotees. He said, Prabhu, what a horrible downfall Sadhu Sangha has undergone. Now they are keeping Sadhu Sangha in this horrible place where the people are sitting, other people are there, they are drinking alcohol, eating meat. There are non-veg restaurants here. Why keep it in a retreat center? That Art of Living Center in Boone, North Carolina was much better, more sattvic. Here there are open bars and meat being cooked in this retreat center. This is horrible. I don't know how sannyasis can come to such a place. So in the entire Sadhu Sangha, this is all he found. So this is not a Vaishnav. This is not the behavior of a Vaishnav. I am not saying he is not a Vaishnav. This is not the behavior of a Vaishnav, because Vaishnav are a gunagrahi. A Vaishnav will come and say, my God, 4,000 devotees in one place. Our Guru Varga are here. So many Gurujans are here. So many senior devotees are here. Hours and hours of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is being sung. Every day there is recitation of Bhagavatam in the morning. So many devotees are volunteering without expecting anything. They are cooking and serving thousands of devotees. So many non-devotees are getting to hear the holy name. This is so nice. Such nice books are kept in the book-stalls. I am meeting my friends after so many months and years. It's so nice to reconnect. This is a wonderful gathering. Vaishnava are a gunagrahi. And one who is not having Vaishnava behavior will see faults in a situation. So let us remind ourselves that we should see the good in others. Vaishnava are gunagrahi na dekhaye dosh, and does not see faults. Na dekhaye dosh. And kaya means body, mana means mind, vakya means through words. Kaya mana vakya kare Vaishnava santosh. Santosh means to give pleasure. With his body, mind, and words, a Vaishnav will give pleasure to another Vaishnav. Isn't it beautiful? With body, embracing them, serving them in some way. With our thoughts, pleasing thoughts about them. And with our words, we give them pleasure. Kaya mana vakya kare Vaishnava santosh. We should make sure that devotees are feeling happy because of us. That is the nature of a Vaishnava. And the contrary to that is, we should not be a source of anxiety to them. We should be source of pleasure to them. Next, number 4. One should learn forbearance even in the face of provocation from others. Srila Prabhupada writes in Krishna book that the greatness of a person has to be estimated by the ability to tolerate provoking situations. I want everyone to note this down. Srila Prabhupada writes in the 10th canto. Towards the end of 10th canto, there is a story of Bhrigu Muni, where Bhrigu Muni tests the 3 primary deities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Lord Mahesh. And in that story, Srila Prabhupada says, the greatness of a person has to be estimated by how we tolerate provoking situation. So my dear friends, in our personal life, now we have to think, how do I tolerate provoking situation? A friend says something to us that is unkind. Are we going to pick a fight? Are we going to immediately react, get angry, get upset? If we do that, that means we are not very advanced. Very sobering, right? Hare Krishna. We went through provoking situation and we got provoked. Another provoking situations are of 2 types, my dear friends. Positive provoking situations and negative provocative situations. Positive provoking situation means we are glorified. we are worshipped, we are respected. And if we get carried away by that, we fail the test. Negative provocating situation means when we are stifled, when we are ill treated, we are slighted, and we get angry. Hey, you don't respect me. You're not listening to me. You're interrupting me. You're cutting me off. I told you to do this, but you did that. This is a negative provoking situation. Are we going to get provoked and disturbed and agitated? Then we are not very advanced. So the greatness of a person has to be tolerated. Beg your pardon. The greatness of a person has to be estimated by their ability to tolerate provoking situations. Temptations are positive provocations. Criticism is negative provocation. And we should tolerate both. Hare Krishna. And this we have to remember and keep practicing it. 5. One should learn to avoid duplicity in his dealings with others. Duplicity in dealings is very common and it is very detrimental to our bhakti because it displeases Krishna. Being duplicitous means to show something, but inside we are having contrary thoughts, to lie, to cheat people. Prabhuji, you didn't come for Janmashtami? Oh, I was not well. But actually, we were doing something else. We were watching a movie or doing some other time pass. But we don't want to tell that. We want to tell that I was working or I was very busy or I was celebrating Janmashtami at home or Prabhu, I had taken a vow to chant 64 rounds. So I was sitting at home. Oh, Prabhu, you're so great. Prabhu, what to do now? I was Nirjal. I didn't have energy. Oh, Nirjal kiya. So indirectly we are telling that I am a 64 rounder. I am a Nirjala fellow. So it's very subtle. It may not be explicit, but it is implicit. We have to be very careful what we speak and what is the motivation behind that. So this duplicity is very dangerous. 6. One should search out a bona fide spiritual master, render service, and ask relevant questions. This is very important. We should all have a spiritual master. And now we are all friends here. And we are reading together Prabhupada's books, we are discussing. This is okay. But outside this, there should be someone who is Guru, who can actually uplift us. And we should serve such a Guru and we should ask relevant questions and get our doubts clarified. So, approaching a spiritual master is one thing. It's a limb of attaining real Vidya, real knowledge. 7. In order to approach the platform of self realization, one must follow the regulative principles enjoined in the revealed scriptures. The 4 regulative principles: no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. If followed properly, they are quite difficult to follow. If followed properly. So we should endeavor to follow them strictly and properly. We should try our best. That is one limb. One must be fixed in the tenets of revealed scriptures. We should know what the scriptures are saying. Like today, we saw in the 10th mantra here that all activities don't lead to the same goal. If activities are based on avidya, we'll get a different result. If activities are based on vidya, we'll get a different result. So we should understand what the scriptures are teaching us. We should be well versed in the opinion of the scriptures. That is one limb of real knowledge. 9. One should completely refrain from practices which are detrimental to the interest of self-realization. If we are eating restaurant food, if we are eating food that is not offered to Krishna, is that favorable for self-realization? Is that favorable for spiritual progress? No. So when someone gives up, that person should be congratulated because he is making progress towards self-realization, which is the actual aim of life. So we should not do things that are detrimental to our spiritual life. 10. One should not accept more than he requires for the maintenance of the body. Excessive indulgence creates addiction to sense gratification. And when we become addicted, habituated to sense gratification, we are not able to perform austerity and we are not able to really cry for Krishna because we are too comfortable. Hare Krishna. So we have to be a little careful. We should take what is required, what is necessary, what we can digest. That's what we should take, not excessively. 11. One should not falsely identify himself with the gross material body Nor should one consider those who are related to his body to be his own. This is very difficult to do, but it is essential. We should not think that I am this material body and those connected to this body are mine. This is called ahamta and mamata. Ahamta means I am this material body, and mamata means those connected to this body are mine. Ashwathama and Arjun, both are students of Dronacharya. So one should not favor one over the other because of blood relation. And this is very difficult to do. Ashwathama wanted to learn some secret weapons from Dronacharya, but all the time the Pandavas and Kauravas were there. So Dronacharya came up with a yukti. He would say that I am going to shoot an arrow in the river, and all of you have to run and retrieve that river, that arrow. And he would tell Ashwathama, you stay with me. When all the Pandavas and Kauravas had gone to retrieve the arrow, secretly Dronacharya would teach. Secretly he would teach Ashwathama. This was a weakness of Dronacharya. He was a very great person, but he had that weakness. But Arjun overcame that also. Arjun would shoot arrow just standing right next to Dronacharya. He would not leave the side of Dronacharya. From there only he would shoot arrows, a row of arrows. They would get stuck to that arrow of Dronacharya and he would call back those arrows. And Gurudev, here is our arrow. He never left Dronacharya's side. Arjun was very special. Therefore, whatever Ashwathama knew, Arjun knew. And when Ashwathama would finally fall asleep, get tired, Gudakesh would take more lessons. That's how Arjun became superior to even Ashwathama. Hare Krishna. Even though the Guru wanted to favor Ashwathama. But that weakness was there in Dronacharya, unfortunately. And that is against spiritual progress. Then, 12. 11 was protecting ourselves from ahamta mamta. 12. One should always remember that as long as he has a material body, he must face the miseries of repeated birth, old age, disease, and death. There is no use in making plans to get rid of these miseries of the material body. The best course is to find out means by which one may regain his spiritual identity. Hare Krishna. This is very important. My dear friends, we should remember that as long as I am in this material body, birth, old age, disease, and death will come. Suffering will come in different forms. And there is no escaping that. One should not think that now that I am a devotee, I will not suffer. Many times people have this conception that now I am chanting 16 rounds, now only good luck will come. Prabhu, by Krishna's mercy, I got a job. Prabhu, my project had ended. By Krishna's mercy, I got a project. If we think that Krishna's mercy means to get a project, Krishna's mercy means to get a job, Krishna's mercy means to get a clean bill on the health, we have not really understood what is Krishna consciousness. Krishna may give these things sometimes to encourage us, but that is not what we are looking for. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaya mama janmani janmani ishvare bhavatat bhakti rahetu kitoi. What we are looking for is to become mad for Krishna, to be madly in love with Krishna, to offer all our heart and love to Krishna. That is what we want. Prem. We don't want all these things because these things are temporary anyway. So we should never doubt Krishna because there is suffering in our life. Is this clear? When a person goes through suffering, it is very difficult to remember this. Immediately we start questioning, we start doubting Krishna. Why Krishna did this? Why bad things happen to good people? Why me? But Srila Prabhupada says real vidya, real knowledge means to accept Krishna's plan, to know that nothing will happen without Krishna's sanction and to accept it. In this regard, Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu gives an example. Can I share with all of you? It's a very beautiful example. Srila Rupa Goswami gives an example of love, prem. Would you like to know? Srila Rupa Goswami gives the example of love as Subhadra Devi. That Subhadra, the sister of Krishna, had real love for Krishna. And Srila Rupa Goswami says, why? Because Subhadra's dear son, Abhimanyu, was ruthlessly slaughtered on the battlefield of Kurukshetra by 6 Maharathis like Karna, Duryodhan, Dushasan, etc. Dronacharya also was there that day. He was mercilessly killed on the battlefield when Krishna was around. Krishna could have saved him. Krishna saved Arjun so many times. Krishna saved Bhim so many times. Krishna could have saved Subhadra's son, his own nephew, Abhimanyu. But Abhimanyu died. Srila Rupa Goswami says, after Abhimanyu's death, not once did Subhadra question Krishna. Krishna, Bhaiya, why you did not save Abhimanyu? Not once. And Srila Rupa Goswami says, this is an example of love. That you lost your son in the presence of Krishna, yet you don't look at Krishna and question him. Why you did not save? Profound, isn't it? A lesser devotee would have questioned, why? Why, Krishna? Why did you let? He was only 16 years old. No, she never questioned. She had the same love for Krishna as she did before the war. After the war, so many times Subhadra met Krishna. Never once she asked Krishna, why you did not save my son? So that is the 12th point. We should remember, as long as we are in the material body, death will come today or tomorrow. Suffering will come, disease will come. 13. One should not be attached to more than the necessities of life required for spiritual advancement. We should not be attached to things that don't help us in our spiritual life. Hare Krishna. Someone takes away your Bhagavatam set. Yes, you should be attached. Where is my Bhagavatam set? You lose your beads. You should be attached. Yes, I lost my beads. But don't be attached to things that don't help you in your Krishna consciousness. Is that okay? I lose my cricket bat and I'm so disturbed. Shunyaitam jagat sarvam. Cricket bat virahename. That should not happen. That should not happen. I know one boy who was to attend the prom in his high school, and that boy is here right now on this call. And instead of going for the prom, he chose to come for the Friday Bhagavad Gita satsang. Hari Bol. One should not be attached to things that don't help us in Krishna consciousness. How does going to a prom help us? Unless you are going to sing Kirtan there in front of everybody. So we should not be attached. Hari Bol. 14. One should not be more attached to wife, children, and home than the revealed scriptures ordain. We should have affection for our wife, children, home, but not overly attached. I know one Mataji who lost her father. She became so upset. Father was quite elderly, and it was expected also. He was having some chronic problem, health problems for some time. But when he passed away, she was so disturbed by that she gave up chanting, and later on she gave up the association of devotees. And we went to her to call her back, and she was just not in a frame of mind to hear. She was questioning why this happened to me. Why this happened to me. So that is called excessive material attachment to our loved ones. It is pathological. It's not good. We should have affection, we should care, but we should not be crazy about these attachments. They should not make us mad. 15. One should not be happy or distressed over desirables and undesirables, knowing that such feelings are just created by the mind. Hare Krishna. The mind creates happiness and distress. Yuvraj, some boy says something very bad in Marathi, and you speak Kannada and English. You don't understand Marathi. So you'll smile like you're smiling now because you don't understand. He's giving you bad words, but you don't understand, so you'll smile. I don't know. But if you understood Marathi and then bad words are given in the language you understand, then naturally we feel very hurt. Correct? Now the words were same, but the effect is different when you understand a language versus when you don't understand a language. So is it the words that are hurting or is it the mind? Yeah. So our mind creates happiness and distress, pleasure and pain, honor and dishonor. So when we go through these experiences, we should tell ourselves that this is just the mind acting. And I don't want to be influenced by the mind. I have to give my mind to Krishna. Mama, what is that? Man mana bhavamad bhakto. Mai arpita mano buddhir. Mam evashyasi asamshaya. We have to give our mind to Krishna. So like that. And then 16. One should become an unalloyed devotee of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and serve him with rapt attention. Love is in the details, how we attentively serve Krishna. So one should be unalloyed devotee of Krishna. That is knowledge. It's a limb of knowledge. 17. One should develop a liking for residence in a secluded place with a calm and quiet atmosphere favorable for spiritual culture, and one should avoid congested places where non devotees congregate. We should cultivate some time, my dear friends, where we are sitting alone and we are chanting or remembering Krishna or reading. Once Gaurang Prabhu came to our house and he chanted from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. 6 a.m. he did his Gayatri. Then he got up and he went to his room. And I also chanted with him, so I had also finished my rounds. I thought, good time now to associate with him. So I did some puja for half an hour, 45 minutes, and then I quietly went into his room and sat down close to him and then just tried to start some conversation. And Gaurang Prabhu said, this is what word he used exactly? He said, this is a do not disturb zone now. I am reading Bhagavatam. So 2 hours, do not disturb. He said 6 to 8 is my time for Swadhyay. After 8 o'clock, we will have breakfast. Then I am available to the whole world. Because I've finished my Swadhyay, I've finished my Japa, I've finished my Gayatri. But this is a no disturb zone. Do not disturb zone. So you go. So like that. Very important that we have some time where we are alone. If all the time we are with people, all the time we are speaking, then we have no time for inner contemplation. We have no time to go deep in our heart and talk to Krishna, develop our relationship with Krishna, develop our relationship with Srimad Bhagavatam. So very important to have some quiet time. Can we do that, all of us? Gaurav, some time when you are just alone, you just, we introspect, we reflect on what we have read, what we have heard. We talk to Krishna, just being quiet without other people around us. That is a aspect of knowledge. A person who is in knowledge will do that. One should develop a liking for secluded place. Otherwise, what happens, my dear friends? Suppose we are all, now listen to this. Suppose we are all the time dependent on other devotees to inspire us. Imagine a situation where you are alone. When lockdown came, how it was so different. Life just drastically changed. If we are completely dependent on others, then when we are deprived of association, we will not be able to function only. We will become dysfunctional. Therefore, we should practice being alone also. Okay? We can all do that. Practice being alone sometimes. And then the last point, 18, is one should become a scientist or philosopher and conduct research into spiritual knowledge, recognizing that spiritual knowledge is permanent, whereas material knowledge ends with death of the body. Right now, I'm working on the oncology ward, so I'm taking care of all cancer patients last 1 month. We have these different rotations as a hospitalist, so I'm on the cancer floor right now. And there we have a sign which says, don't take life too seriously. No one gets out of it alive. Now, this is on a cancer floor where people are having cancer, or every patient has cancer. They are on chemotherapy, radiation therapy, immunotherapy, they're undergoing surgery. Many of them are facing death. Many of them are transitioning to hospice. So this may sound good. Don't take life too seriously. No one gets out of it alive anyway. Like that. And somebody's quote it is. Their name is also there. I don't agree with this. That is a escapist philosophy. In other words, in simple Hindi, this means goli maar bheje me. How is it different from that? कि अरे चिंता मत कर यार. What is that? Lion King? Abracadabra? Maithili? What is that? Akuna Matata. Akuna Matata. It means no worry. Don't take life too seriously. This is a escapist philosophy. No, we should take life seriously. We should not have an expectation that I will not suffer. We should not expect that I will not fall sick. We should not expect that I will live a long life or I will not die. But we should take life seriously because life is a gift from Krishna. Human form of life is a gift from Krishna. How we cannot take it seriously? We must take it seriously. If we don't take it seriously, we will not do bhajan. If we take life seriously, then we will seriously do bhajan. So I don't agree with that quote. Another quote in Atlanta is there's a photo of a patient who recovered from some major catastrophic illness, and it says, I wouldn't be here without Grady. Grady is a hospital. And then there's a cancer survivor or road accident survivor or stroke survivor. I wouldn't be here without Grady. I like to say, yeah, you can say, I wouldn't be here without Grady, but you won't be here despite Grady. Someday you will die. Even Grady cannot save you. Emory cannot save you. Piedmont cannot save you. So death is inevitable. That is not such a big thing. Everybody dies. Everybody falls sick. Everybody suffers. What is important is how much bhajan we do. Now, my dear friends, we read these 18 points. I know it's a lot, but I want to quickly end today's discussion by telling all of you one story. And my request would be, Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu, all of you meditate on this story. It's a very powerful story. And it talks about this exact same topic, Vidya and Avidya. So very quickly, I will tell you the true story. There was one great scholar by the name Padmanabh. Please listen carefully. A great scholar by the name Padmanabh. And he was a Digvijay Pandit. He traveled to all the holy places, all the places of education. He even came to Pune and defeated all the scholars. This was some 400 years ago. Defeated all the scholars. And he would make them sign a certificate that he has been victorious. And I have been defeated by Shri Padmanabhji. And he would take great pleasure. He had memorized the Vedas, he had memorized the Puranas, the Upanishads, everything, Vedanta Sutra, he had memorized it. He had so much Vidya, so much knowledge, or so he thought. He used to go around with a bullock cart. Bullock cart was filled with all the holy scriptures. Not so that he would read, he knew them, Kanthastha. He had learned them by heart, but to give reference. If he is debating with somebody and he defeats them, this scripture, this verse, this canto, this chapter, this verse says like this. Hey, open that pothi and show him the reference. He had assistants, librarians, who were simply meant to give and show reference that he was quoting. He was so great. He went everywhere, defeated everybody, and he finally said, I will go to Kashi. Because he thought Kashi was the place of high learning. All the big Vidwans are in Kashi. So even before he arrived in Kashi, the news had reached that Padmanabhji is coming. And all the Vidwans, they were hiding. Some made excuse that I'm not well, I have to be in quarantine. I have to be in the house, I've got cold, cough. Nobody wanted to face Padmanabh because they didn't want to be defeated by him. Padmanabh arrived in Kashi. He declared, I have come. I invite all the Vidwans to come and debate with me on any topic from the Shastra. Come on, let's debate. And some Vidwans were in Kashi were very intelligent. They came forth and they said, look, in Kashi there are thousands of Vidwans. You will perhaps spend several years debating with us because every day you debate with one person, there are thousands of Vidwans. You'll waste so many years just in Kashi. Don't waste time. Instead, you defeat one person who is the greatest scholar of Kashi. If you defeat him, we will all sign. So it will save you time. It's very efficient. Just defeat this one person. He said, yeah, that makes sense. Who is this person? He says, his name is Kabir Das ji. He lives alone and he doesn't like to debate. He will not come here accepting your invitation. You have to go there. Okay, I will go. So with his Bailgadi, with his librarians and scribes, this Padmanabh ji, he goes to Kabir Das ji. Kabir Das ji is sitting and chanting Ram, 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 Sita Ram, Sita Ram. He's a devotee of Lord Ram. He is initiated disciple in the Ramanandi Sampradaya, which is a branch of the Shri Sampradaya of Shripad Ramanujacharya and later on Shri Ramanandacharya, great acharyas. So he's sitting there and chanting Ram Nam. So Padmanabhji goes and he says that I would like to debate with you. I have come here to Kashi to debate with you. So will you kindly debate with me? I want to settle who is a greater Vidwan. And all the Vidwans of Kashi have said that if you are defeated, then they will also accept defeat. So let's debate. So Kabir Das ji said, I have no time for debating. Wherever you want me to sign, you tell me, I will sign it. He said, no, 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 no. Like, I don't want that. That will not satisfy me. No, not like that. Just debate with me, please. So Kabir Das ji said, see, I don't have much knowledge. I cannot even sign my own name. What I will debate with you? I have not read any of these books that you are carrying in that bullock cart. So it doesn't matter. Everybody has said that you are the greatest scholar. So you please debate with me. Ask me any question. So Kabir Das ji said, okay, I will ask you one question. And if you answer that question, then I will accept defeat. You don't even have to ask me any question and prove me inferior to you. I will ask you one question, you answer that question, and I will accept defeat if you can answer that question. That's it. One question. That's all. So Padmanabh said, okay, ask me the question. What is the question? He rolls up his sleeves and everything and remembers Saraswati Devi and does Achaman and sits. Okay, I'm ready. Ask me. What question do you have? Kabir Das ji says, in Hindi, आप समझ के पढ़े हो या पढ़ के समझे हो. It means you have realized the truth by reading the Shastra, or you have realized the truth and then read the Shastra. Answer this question. Think about it. It is very deep. It took me days to understand this when I heard this story. Kabir Das ji asked, tell me, Shri Padmanabh ji, have you realized the scriptures by studying them, reading them, or have you realized the scriptures and then read them? What would you answer? Shri Padmanabhji was very intelligent. He said, I accept my defeat. This question is like a mirror. It is showing me who I am. I accept defeat. I am a fool. What Kabir Das ji meant was, after reading the scriptures, have you attained any improvement in your character? Have you been able to apply what you read in the scriptures? Or have you already realized all the purports of the scriptures and then you read them? Now see the difference. Kabir Das ji's point was, oh Padmanabh, you are so puffed up, you are so arrogant, you are so proud, you are so vain. You take pleasure in going around inviting people and defeating them and making them sign the certificate of defeat. What kind of an arrogant person are you? If you had read the scriptures and attained inner transformation by reading the scriptures, then you would not behave like this. Or if you are already self-realized, you are already having good character because of being self-realized, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmani Kabhihastini, then even after reading so many scriptures and having so much knowledge, you would not become puffed up and arrogant. But you are puffed up and arrogant. That means neither did you understand after reading and nor have you understood and then read. Because if you would have understood and then read, reading would not have produced arrogance. And if after reading you would have actually understood the meaning and practiced it, then you would have been very humble. But I don't see humility in your character. I don't see pridelessness in your character. I don't see respectfulness in your character. That means all this knowledge of all these scriptures is just a show. It is waste. It is mandanam lokaranjanam. You're a dead person for all practical purposes because you're arrogant. You have not followed what you have read. And if you read Bhagavad Gita, you'll understand Vidya, Vinay. With Vidya, there must be Vinay. Vinay means good character, humility, gentleness. You don't have that. That means you don't have real Vidya. You're just a arrogant theoretical knowledge is what you have. So then Padmanabh became a disciple of Kabir Das ji. He stayed in Kashi. He accepted initiation from Sri Kabir Das ji. So very important point. After reading these scriptures, Isopanisad, we are not reading this to get a Bhakti Shastri certificate in 1 year. We are reading this to undergo a complete transformation. I know one devotee who used to be very arrogant, very confrontational. But by chanting, by reading the scriptures, reading Prabhupada's books, reading the Goswami literature, I have seen over the years, every time he reads something, he tries to apply it in his life. If he will read Anudvega Karam Vakyam, oh, I should not cause anxiety to others through my speech. He will deliberately try to practice that. If he reads Amanina Mana Dena, he will deliberately try to not expect respect, yet give respect to others, those who disrespect him. And I've seen, my dear friends, over the years, he has become such a jewel of a devotee, such a gift to ISKCON, that he is the favorite of so many of our Guru Varga. Hari Bol. I have seen this with my own eyes. How this devotee has made so much spiritual advancement. So this is an example of Pad ke samjhe. And then there are some who are already very, very pure from their birth, very advanced, they have all good qualities, and then they will read a lot of scriptures and nothing will happen to them. Their bhakti will remain same because they're already so advanced. That knowledge will not produce arrogance in them. That knowledge will not produce pride in them. You see, there are two options. Shukdev Goswami was already self-realized. So when he read Srimad Bhagavatam, it did not produce any pride in him. Correct? So like that. Either we can be ignorant, like who was that? Dundubhi, the son of Atmadev. We can be like Dundubhi, that after hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, we become enlightened and we develop good character. Or we can be like Shukdev Goswami, who was already self-realized, he read Bhagavatam and it produced no pride, nothing. He spoke to Shukdev Goswami when he spoke to Parishit Maharaj and Parishit Maharaj requested him to, when other sadhus requested him to sit on the Vyasasana and speak. Then he spoke. Not that he came to say, I want to give a class. Can you arrange Katha for me? No, not like that. So we have to remember this thing, that we are reading this so that we can apply the teachings of the scriptures in our life. And I'm so grateful so many young devotees have joined. I'm so proud of all of you. Thank you. I'm doing this course just for all of you, so that all these young boys and girls, they become like Haridas Thakur. Very advanced, but very humble, very simple. Okay. So we will stop here and then we'll continue from mantra 11 day after tomorrow. My expectation is that in 2 classes, we will be finishing Isopanisad. Okay. So Sundarangi Radha Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Shri Guru Maharaj.
Hare
Prabhuji, I think, at least on my screen, I'm seeing Divya Mataji raise her hand before me. So do you want to go to her
Yes,
first?
yes. Divya Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Yes, you were talking about provoking situation, and I had a very provoking situation 2 days back. So if you can give me some advice on that, I'll be grateful. It was, it kind of disturbed me.
You
Few
can
years,
send me a message and I'll send you a private message if, instead of sharing in front of everybody, you send me a private message and I will respond to you.
okay, sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Sundarangi Radha Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
This class was very deep. And thank you for going and giving examples that could actually relate. I have a couple of questions, Prabhu, time permitting. The first question that I have is like, in the context of Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya, in that verse context, you mentioned that if one does not have devotion for Bhagavan, the jati, shastra, japa, tapa, everything is lost. That point really stuck me very deep, and it is making me question like, what is devotion actually? Like, what pleases Krishna? How do we define devotion?
Hmm. Devotion is the bhakti, Bhagavad Bhakti, Hinasya Jati Shastra, Japatapa Apranasya Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. Bhagavad Bhakti is defined by Srila Rupa Goswami. Anyabhilashita Shunya, Jnana Karmadi Anavratam, Anukulyana Krishnanushīlanam, Bhaktir Uttama. The best vibe of bhakti is that Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, that we have no other material motive, means dhanam, janam, sundarim, and jnana karma adi anavratam, means bhakti that is not mixed with the desire to enjoy in this world, bhakti that is not mixed with the desire to get liberation. Jnana means mukti, karma leads to bhukti, enjoyment. So jnana karma adi, and adi refers to dhyana yoga, which leads to siddhi. Anavrita. Avrita means to be covered. Anavrita means not. Bhakti that is not overshadowed by desire to enjoy bhukti, desire to become liberated from the birth and death cycle, mukti, or mystic power, siddhi. All these ashta siddhis, anima, mahima, prapti siddhi, etc. Not covered by them. And anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktir uttama. Anushilanam means to practice the primary limbs of bhakti, like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, making garlands for Krishna. That is primary anga of bhakti. Chanting Krishna's name is primary anga of bhakti. That beautiful garland you sent for Radha Shamsundar and Jhulan, did Premlati Mataji tell you? It matched exactly the color of the dress of Radha Shamsundar. So this is primary bhakti, to make something for Krishna and offer it, to chant Krishna's name, to hear about Krishna, to glorify Krishna, chanting ashtakams, chanting prayers like Damodar Ashtakam prayer, Samsara Dava prayer, Vibhavari Shesha, Tulsi Arti, Narsimha Arti. These are direct glorification of Krishna. So these are primary limbs of bhakti. This is Anushilanam. And Krishna, Anukulyana Krishna. And our bhakti should be very Anukul to Krishna. To give an example, Odana Shashti is the sixth day of the lunar cycle, which marks the beginning of winter season. And Jagannath is given warm clothes. But one year in Jagannath Puri, the winter came early. Even before Odana Shashti, it was a cold wave. But the Pandas were waiting for Odana Shashti to give woolen warm clothes to Lord Jagannath. So one disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, who was in Jagannath Puri, he went and fought with the Pandas that no, it is cold now. The cold season has come early. Don't wait for Odana Shashti. Don't be so attached to the letter of the Shastra. Be attached to the spirit behind those letters in the Shastra. Odana Shashti generally marks the beginning of winter, so it becomes cold. So Jagannath is given warm clothes, but the winter has come early, so do it now. Offer the warm clothes now, even though Odana Shashti is still a few weeks away. This is Anukulena Krishna. Anukul. What is Anukul for Krishna? Therefore, Janmashtami also, when we are giving a public bathing to Radha and Krishna or Radhashtami, we should make sure the milk is little warm. That is Anukul for Krishna. How we will like if we are given refrigerated milk bath. So we should not do that. We should not give cold water bath, cold milk bath. This is called Anukul. Not Anukul for me, not what is convenient for me. What is conducive for Krishna. What is comfortable for Krishna. That we should do. That is bhakti. So in short, bhakti means having no other separate selfish desire for prestige, fame, wellness, good health, good wealth, dhanam, janam, sundarim, but just to be focused on what will please Krishna. Arjun did not want to fight. We will see that in the first chapter when we start Bhagavad Gita. But he still fought because it gave pleasure to Krishna. That is Anukul. Not Mama Anukul, Krishna Anukul. Anukul and a Krishna. What is Anukul for Krishna? That is Bhakti. Always have to think, what will please Krishna? Okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Next question, you have one more?
Yes, Prabhu. The example of Srimati Subhadra Maharani, that is making me think about Srimati Draupadi Devi, also Draupadi Maharani. Now, they're very two contrasting. One did not even question like what happened to her son. One questioned, but still maintained attachment to Krishna. So how, like when we are presented, which avenue to
So our acharyas give very sweet explanation of why Draupadi questioned Krishna. After the Kuru Sabha episode, when
yeah.
Krishna visits them in the forest, when they are in Vanvas, they begin their Vanvas. Krishna visits them from Dwarka, and Mahabharata describes that Draupadi asks him, Krishna, I was being disrobed, I was humiliated in the Kuru Sabha, where were you? So our acharyas explain why she said that. Draupadi was sure that Krishna came because she felt Krishna's embrace. Krishna became the sari. So she felt Krishna's loving embrace, and Krishna saved her modesty. Dushasan could not remove the sari. She was saved. So she knew it was Krishna because she prayed to Krishna and she was saved. She felt Krishna's presence. So she was sure. But the Pandavas were always asking her, Draupadi, why Krishna didn't come? Where? Because nobody saw. Krishna was so upset with the Pandavas also that he did not give darshan to them. He only gave darshan to Draupadi. Only Draupadi could see that Krishna came. So the Pandavas, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Arjun, Bhim, Nakul, Sad, they were always asking, Draupadi, it's very bewildering. You prayed to Krishna, but Krishna didn't come. We were expecting he will appear with Sudarshan Chakra and he will chop off Dushasan's arm, but he did not come. And how could Draupadi tell that I felt his embrace? He had become my sari. So others were questioning. So to clarify, like Parishit Maharaj asked that how can Krishna dance with the Vraj Gopis who are wives of other men? Parishit Maharaj himself did not have any doubt, but he's asking for people. Loka Sangraham, to set an example for people. Similarly, Draupadi was asking for other people who were doubting, Krishna, where were you? And Krishna did not answer. Krishna simply smiled. But our acharyas say that Krishna was very upset with the Pandavas, that they sat down because of respect for Bhishma Dev and Dhritarashtra. Nonsense. They should not have sat down. They should not have allowed this outrageous act to take place. They should have killed the Kauravas there only. So Krishna was upset, and the proof is Shri Bilvamangal Thakur. Bilvamangal Thakur opens Govinda Damodar Stotra by criticizing the Pandavas. He says, Agre Kurunam Atha Pandavanam. He puts Kauravas and Pandavas on the same level. No difference. Rascals, both. That is Bilvamangal Thakur's Thasak. He says, what is this nonsense? The Kauravas are watching, Pandavas are watching. Agre Kurunam. In front of them, in front of the Pandavas, this outrageous activity happened. Atrocity happened. Agre Kurunam Atha Pandavanam. Dushasanena Ritavastra Kesha. Vastra and Kesh were pulled by Dushasan, Draupadi's. Agre Kurunam Pandavanam Dushasanena Ritavastra Kesha Krishna Tadakroshadananyanatha Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. Krishna means Draupadi. Krishna Tada Kroshad Ananyanatha. Now she has no Nath. The Kauravas had disappointed her and the Pandavas also disappointed her. Therefore, she is called Ananyanath. She now had only one Nath. Not her husband's. Only one Nath. That is Shri Krishna. And she called to him. So for others, she asked, Krishna, where were you? Why you didn't give darshan? Nobody saw you. I felt you, I saw you, but nobody else. That is the asha. That is the meaning. I hope this helps, Mataji.
Thank you.
Last question, Ananta Vilas Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you once again for this very wonderful nectarian class, Prabhu. Prabhu, I have two questions if time permits. The first one is that seventh point which we discussed, right? I think this is on the regulative principles. The four regulative principles. In this, you mentioned, stressed on one point, if followed properly. So I wanted to ask, okay, if there is, when we talk about these four regulative principles, one is the verbal understanding of what we see, but is there something that is more to it, Prabhu?
Yeah. So, first of all, following them strictly means no onion garlic, no meat eating, everything following properly. But then the deeper meaning of the four regulative principles is because we don't do meat eating because meat eating destroys our mercifulness. Correct?
Mhm.
There are four limbs of dharma, and mercy limb is destroyed by meat eating. So we can be vegetarian, but if we are violent to others in our dealings, physically, emotionally, verbally violent, then we are eating meat, even though we are vegetarians. I have heard, I don't know if it is true, I have heard that Hitler was a vegetarian at some point. So that doesn't make him non-violent. Similarly, one may not take tea, coffee, caffeine, and alcohol and all those things, but if one is intoxicated with pride that I am the greatest devotee or I am very advanced devotee, then that is also not good. We are intoxicated with pride, although we are not taking any intoxications. And gambling, we may not physically go to a casino, but if we are acting in a way that we are taking chances with our bhakti, it's okay. Nobody's watching. Chalta hai. It's okay. And we start risking our spiritual life. Start behaving in a way that we are taking chances. Let me criticize this devotee. Nothing happens. I'm not breaking the regulative principles. I'm speaking the truth. And dekh lenge. Dekh lenge. Many times we say, Prabhu, I'm not criticizing, huh? And then we criticize. Prabhu, Anantavilas Prabhu, I'm not criticizing, but that devotee, he did like this, he did like that. So we say, I'm not criticizing, but we are taking chances with our bhakti. We know what we are doing is wrong, but still we are not refraining, controlling ourselves, restraining ourselves from doing it. That is gambling. What is gambling? It is putting Lakshmi and risking her. We are risking our bhakti, which comes from the Ladini Shakti. So that is a deeper meaning. And then we follow the fourth regulative principle to maintain our cleanliness. By doing that, those things, our cleanliness goes away. Physical cleanliness, internal cleanliness goes away. So similarly, we may not be doing something physically, but if mentally we are behaving in a illicit way, inappropriate way, or through our thoughts, we are once we were in the yatra, and I was with one of my brahmachari. At that time, I was not married, and I was with one of the brahmachari counselors. Not my counselor, another brahmachari who was a brahmachari counselor. And some Matajis were at a water fountain filling water. And one of the boys was staring at them. So the counselor noticed and said, "Hey, don't look at Matajis like that. Don't stare at them." And he slyly smiled and he said, "प्रभु जी कुछ नहीं कर रहा हूँ सिर्फ थोड़ा नयन सुख." And means he said in English, to translate in English, Nayan Sukh, he said, I'm not doing anything physically. I'm just giving some pleasure to my eyes. That's not breaking the regulative principle. I'm just giving some pleasure to my eyes. Those girls are good to look at. So I'm just giving pleasure to my eyes. So the counselor chastised and he quoted one lecture of Srila Prabhupada, which years later, I actually got to hear. That Prabhupada says that illicit sex is of 8 types. And one of them is to look at Matajis. That is also breaking that regulative principle. One of them is to frivolously cut jokes with them. One of them is to talk intimately with them to impress them. Just talk to some Mataji and talk in a very nice, stylish way, cut some smart jokes to impress them. That is also illicit sex. So Prabhupada says there are 8 types of illicit sex like that. So this is understanding the four regulative principles on a deeper level. I hope this helps, Ananta Vilas Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Quickly now, your second and last question.
The second one, Prabhu, this is the 11th point. this is the point whereas if there are not to consider even like, okay, let's say family members or so like as our own. So how do we understand?
Considering the family members to be Krishnas. For example, a child wants to become a brahmachari, and then the parents opposing. No, that's not good. So you are our son. What is becoming a brahmachari? You better stay with us because you will support us in our old age. Don't become brahmachari. That means you consider your child to be your own and not Krishna's. But actually, Pitaham Asya Jagatam. Krishna is the father of everyone. Aham Bija Pradapita. Krishna is the supreme father. Tameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva. Tvameva Bandhus Sakha Tvameva. Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva. Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Dev Dev Krishna is everyone's father. So that is to consider our family members to be belonging to Krishna, to inspire them to come closer to Krishna, who is the prime entity. That is the meaning of that point. Not considering that I own them or they will take care of me in my old age or I want to keep them closer to me so that I will get benefits from them. No, if they are going closer to Krishna and they feel inspired in a certain way to serve Krishna, then let them go. Like that. If Krishna wants to call some family member to him, and to go to Krishna means you have to go through death, then we should not hold a grudge against Krishna that why you are giving this disease to my family member, why you could not give a long life to my family member. Because actually, if you think about it, all of us have taken so many births in this material world. But through some disease, through some illness, through some accident, through some form or shape, if Krishna wants to take away a loved one, a family member early, but that is going to bring a lot of auspiciousness to that person because that person has chanted Hare Krishna, because that person has served Radha Krishna at home, because that person has heard a satsang, taken Krishna Prasad, drunk Charanamrut, done Kirtan, met devotees. That person has developed affection for some devotees. When that devotee dies, that devotee is certain to get a very auspicious birth. If not, go to Vaikuntha, will get auspicious birth. May get to take birth somewhere in some universe where Srila Narottam Das Thakur is performing Leela. And they may take birth in Kheturi Gram. And suddenly they will see Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivas Acharya, Shamananda Pandit, who are doing Kirtan, and in the Kirtan suddenly Panchatattva appear. Ah, and Janava Thakurani is cooking feast, and they will be able to sit and eat in that feast. Such auspicious birth they will get. So what is the harm if they die at the age of 10 years or 20 years or 30 years or 40 years? We should not question. They belong to Krishna. That is the right attitude. We don't remember who our father was, mother was in the previous life, who our wife or husband were in the previous life. So why we should be so possessive and attached? Of course, family members, we are attached, we love, we should. But when Krishna does something or Krishna has his plans, we should bow down to Krishna's plan. We try our best, but we are also sensitive to the fact that Krishna has his plans. And when Krishna manifests his plans and they are contrary to our plan, then we bow down to Krishna's plan. That is devotee. Arjun did not want Abhimanyu to die. Draupadi did not want her 5 sons to die. But Krishna subjected Draupadi to greater and greater tests. Being stripped naked in Kuru Sabha was the easiest test, according to my Guru Maharaj. But Durvasa Muni coming in the forest Kamyavan and demanding food for him and 60,000 disciples was a greater calamity for Draupadi. Because in Kuru Sabha, she was being personally humiliated. Nothing was happening to the Pandavas. But if Durvasa Muni gets angry, all the 5 Pandava brothers will die. he will curse them. So for Draupadi, that was a bigger calamity. How many of us have thought like that? We think Kurusabha was the greatest calamity. Maharaj says Durvasa Muni coming was a greater calamity. And then Maharaj says that to lose all 5 children, she is the happy mother of 5 glorious sons, and they are all teenagers. None of them is beyond the age of 18. They were all teenagers. And being killed in such a non-Kshatriya way, in their sleep, without being given a fair chance to fight with Ashwathama, being slaughtered mercilessly in there. Night she lost all 5 children. That was and to forgive the murderer of the children, to be asked to forgive. And how Krishna tested, Krishna said, kill Ashwathama. He should be killed. That was Krishna's opinion. Bhim said, kill. And Draupadi said, don't kill. Because internally Draupadi knew that Krishna will be more pleased if I forgive Ashwathama. Krishna tests. So many examples are there where Krishna comes and says one thing. Haridas Thakur, reduce your quantity. We would be happy. Thank you, Mahaprabhu. You understood me. You are really Mahavadanya. Haridas Thakur said no. And Mahaprabhu was pleased. Who else but you can be Namacharya? So Krishna is testing Draupadi by suggesting that kill Ashwathama. Arjun, kill him. Bhim says kill him. Krishna and Bhim are saying kill, and Draupadi is saying don't kill, because internally she knows Krishna wants me to forgive. This is the thing, my dear friends. The external mood and internal mood. कोई बहुत पहुंचे हुआ डिवोटी ही इंटरनल मूड को समझ सकता है. Only a very advanced devotee can understand the internal mood of Krishna and Guru. It's a matter of spiritual maturity and realization. So many things are coming to mind, but we don't have time. But I hope this is little clear, Prabhuji.
Thank you so very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Telling that past time about Padmanabh.
Very, very nice. I liked it very much. I liked it. Bhaktamal. That's Bhaktamal Katha. पढ़ के समझे हो कि समझ के पढ़े हो. Because he had not developed any of those qualities. He immediately realized that here Kabir Das ji is asking me about good character, not knowledge. Knowledge is supposed to lead to Vinay. Vidya Vinay Sampanne. I am Vidya Sampanna. I don't have Vinay. I have knowledge without character. Prabhupada says, no, knowledge without good character is useless. Prabhupada says. So we should pray for good character, good qualities. Hari Bol.
Very good.
Thank you so much, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.